Hi everyone, welcome to the tutorial on how to answer theory questions using the LEER method. This method was developed by myself, Tseho Aister, and Paula Hall. I've put her name in brackets there because she really didn't want to be, acknowledged for this, but I was able to develop this because of a discussion that I've had with her. And I'm the type of person that likes to give credit where credit is due. So when you answer a theory question, there are 4 steps that I call the LEER method. The first thing that you have to do is that you have to list the theory in your prescribed textbook. And then you have to explain that theory in your own words. Remember though that these are the answers that you will get from the textbook, and therefore that means then you will have to reference the original author or the original source of the information. Then you will provide an example as per the question or the case study that is provided. And also, please do not forget to reference the case study. That is when you are using those examples from the case study, and then provide an additional resource. And this could be in the form of another definition that you get from another source, a real life example of, the phenomenon that is being talked about, or your personal experience, because I know a lot of our students, they are working. So perhaps in your work, experience, you've encountered some of these concepts, and you can then discuss them or provide them as additional resources on top or over and above, the case study that has been provided. And then another good one is to go to the company website and Google, the same phenomenon again. If let's say the case study is about checkers, then you would then Google checkers. And then I have a couple of notes here that you just need to be mindful of. Number 1, always answer questions in your own words. When you explain, please explain in your own words. Do not verbatim copy and paste what the original author said. And then always acknowledge or reference the original author. And we've had a lot of sessions on plagiarism and avoiding plagiarism, and that is why you want to acknowledge those sources. And then you always want to discuss the theory in full. Now, this one is just a personal favorite of mine because, for example, you will get a question such as, outline the functional management skills that are important to do me. Example in your assignment or your exam, etc. And they normally say that those that are important, but honestly, everything is important. Hence, if there's 8 points to discuss all 8. Don't think to yourself that it's only 6 that are relevant. And then always go the extra mile by providing an additional resource or an additional perspective on the matter. So let's go ahead and do an example. So here's an example on how to answer a theory question using this LEER method. So the question might be, discuss the business environment of the entrepreneurial venture, and then include the micro, macro, and macro, and market environment. Sorry, market. I just copied and pasted this from an assignment, but I see there was an error in that micro, macro, and market environment in your example. So again, what you're going to do is you're going to list, you're going to explain, then you're going to provide an example, and then you're going to provide an additional resource. So I've already gone ahead and opened the textbook that we have relevant for this. It's entrepreneurship. And the phenomenon or the business environment that's been talked about is on chapter 2. So if we go to chapter 2, here we've got the business environment, and now we can start talking. Just waiting for it to load. Okay, so business environment, scroll down to get the fine thing. So here we've got the business environment. So now when you're answering the question, the first thing that you see is that they are giving you the definition, right? You can start, when you answer your question, you can start by saying the business environment is defined as, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to explain it in your own words. Explain in your own words and reference the author. So then what we'll do is, and maybe let me put it in like this so that we can put the references in brackets as they are supposed to be. This one is Hazen. and it's 2019. Okay, so that's the first thing that you're going to do. You're going to say the business environment is defined as blah, 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 blah. And then maybe you'll provide one more sentence on what the business environment is all about. Then you will go on to say, because if you look at the business environment, and okay, here these kind of, this is where you will get, those extra sentences again. So now when we go to the elements of the business environment, here we've got, they say they've got the business environment contains the micro environment, the market environment, and the macro environment. So they call them the components and variables of the business environment, right? Then you go and you will say the components of the business environment include the micro, the macro, and market environment. Right? Then you have to discuss each the micro, the macro, and the market environment. And in fact, the market environment normally comes before the macro environment. The components of the business environment include the macro, and again, you will then, right? And this is again 2019, right? And then you will say, because now you go back to your textbook and they're saying that the micro environment, the micro environment, this is the business itself. We can distinguish between the following variables. The micro, then you will say the micro environment is, remember we have to write everything in your own words. So you're not gonna say is, is the business itself, so you can say is the actual business, because now we are paraphrasing, right? Is the business, the actual business, and comprises of the, and they say here, the mission statement, and objectives. So let's write that, comprises of the mission statement and objectives. Or in fact, let's say comprises of the following components. Then you will say mission statement and objectives, right? Then you will say the functions of the business and the production factors. So functions of the business and the production factors. So those are the three elements of the microenvironment. Then we know that we also have the market environment, and for that you will do the same thing. So for the market environment, you will say the market environment consists of the market, the competition, and the suppliers. So it consists of the market, the competition, and the suppliers, right? And then we go to the macro environment, what's wrong with my spelling? Macro environment. And the macro environment consists of economic, and this is where I said, please discuss all of the elements. You see, macro environment, it starts getting a little bit longer now, but that does not mean we're not going to discuss everything. We have to discuss everything so that we can get all of our marks, right? So it's the economic environment, social, technological. So economic, social, technological. Then we've got physical, political, and international. So the physical, international, the physical, political, and international. So what we've done here is we've basically just listed, right? And I would do this, I would put these in headings or in bold at least, so that, you can see exactly what the different subheadings are. So then what we've done is now we've listed, right? We've simply listed the elements, right? And according to this, the LEER method, you need to list the theory, and that's what we've just done now. Now you need to explain the theory in your own words, and you need to reference the original author. So when we get here and we look at, for instance, the market, right? We're going to go back to our textbook and we're going to say, okay, the market. Now we're going to go to the discussion on the market. Here is the market. Wait, not the market. My bad. I wanted to start with the first one, which is the microenvironment. The microenvironment, is the definition, right? So again, let's see, did we describe the market and the microenvironment? Yes, is, let's say, defined as the actual business, right, and composes of the following. So the mission statement. So after that, you will say then the mission statement and objectives, right? What you're going to do is, because you've already listed, then you're going to explain what the mission statement and the objectives are. And remember, because you are getting your sources from the textbook, then you will say Nieuwenhuizen 2019, right? After you have done that, you've now explained it. Now you're going to provide an example, right? For example, and maybe let's say there was no case study that was provided, or maybe let's say there was a case study that was provided, and let's use Checkers. So for example, with Checkers, the Checkers group, how do you spell Checkers? Checkers group. With the Checkers group, this would be the actual Checkers stores, right? And because what I like about this example actually is the fact that, they say the microenvironment is defined as the business itself. Oh, sorry, I think I made a mistake there. Yeah, it's defined as the business itself and comprises of the following. So the mission statement, oh, sorry, I made an example with the wrong thing. So for example, mission statement and objectives. For example, the mission statement of Checkers is, right? And this is where you would then go ahead and Google it. So if you say Checkers mission statement, and then we see here about Checkers, we nicely got it at the Checkers website, about us, better for everyone, a promise to you. Let's see, the Shoprite Checkers Families Collective Mission. There we go. There we go. So you just copy that, and then let's say you paste it down here for the Checkers is, and then you put it in direct quotation because we are using their exact words. And then you're gonna say in this, remember we got this from checkers.co.za, then you will just say Checkers because that's how you would reference it. And please make sure that you know how to reference different sources. Checkers, and this would be, there is no year that's provided. I think at the bottom it'll just say 2024, all rights reserved. So that would be Checkers 2024, right? And this is the objectives. And then if you have something about their objectives, you will say their objectives include, and you will find those again, Google those, and then again you will reference. Right. Then the second one is, and what I would also then suggest is, if let's say you've got the mission statement and objectives, put it in bold. You want to make things easier for your marker to see where everything is. I would also say functions of the business. Then you will say, maybe put that in bold. And let's see, just to double check here, mission statement, we've explained, we've listed it, right? We've explained what it is, and we've put that in our own words. We've provided an example, right, of the statement and the mission statement. And then let's say, for instance, because now they're saying provide an additional resource. For example, with this one, what I'm thinking is an additional resource is, why is it important to have a mission statement? I would go ahead and Google something like that. So I would say, why is it important? Nope, no, important for organizations to have a mission statement. Right. So we see here Investopedia. I'm really not a fan of Investopedia, so I'm going to go ahead and look for other more better quality sources, right? I see here SMME strategy and consulting, and it's a 2021, so it's not too old. Okay, leaders, why your company needs a mission statement. I don't know leaders as a website, so because I like the SMME strategy consulting, it's in a consulting company. I don't know it, but it's, you know, because it's a company, I like where this is going. And then if you go into that website, you will see here what is a mission statement and why it is important, right? So what is a mission statement? Why is it important? So they're saying your mission and mission statement, vision, I think they meant vision, aligns with your people and aligns your organization. I already like this sentence. So we're going to paraphrase, aligns with your people and aligns with organization. So for then, as an additional sort, it is important, it is important for companies to have mission statements because it aligns people, the company, the personnel. I'll say personnel because we're trying to paraphrase. It aligns it because it aligns the personnel with the company. And this is a reference that we got from, and another reason why I like this website, because you can see it's Anthony Taylor, and this was 2021. So we're going to reference Taylor 2021. So again, if we check, and let me just copy these. If we check our mission statement, right, and objectives, have we listed it? Yes, we've listed them as the microenvironment variable. We've listed it, right? Here we've got it. Then we've explained it, and we've explained it in our own words, and we've referenced it. Then we've also come up with an example. For example, the mission statement of Checkers is da 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 da. Right, and we've also got a reference for that. Then we've provided another resource, because then we've said to ourselves, why is it important for a company to have, you know, a mission statement? And that's where we got that Taylor. And you can see already from this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sources from this one question, well, one statement. Then you will do this for the functions of the business, right? The functions of the business. Number one, you will the functions, and I guess because we've listed it already, we explain it. The functions of the business are, and then that's where you go back to your textbook, because now the functions of the business include the following management divisions, are the management divisions, right? So we'll say are the management divisions, right? And then for that, we will say Nieuwenhuizen, because that's where we got our reference from, right? 2019. And then that's, for example, at Checkers, because remember, we've, what is it? At Checkers was our case study, right? For example, at Checkers, they have, and you can look at these: general management, human resources, operations, right? You can say they have all the functional, at Checkers, they have all the management functions, right? Such as, and let's see what we've got here, human resource management, right? And then let's list as human resource management. And then what I would then go ahead and do, because that is our example, I will then check and go Google, you know, Checkers human resources. Checkers human resources. Regional human resources. You see already we also have a LinkedIn. Who is HR at ShopRite? Zakele Sibia, right? You see? So for example, the general manager of HR. So we'll say, for example, checkers have all the management functions such as human resources, their HR manager is Zakele Sibia, and let me paste that properly, is Zakele Sibia, and this we got from which website? What is it? Share shopriteholdings.co.za. Okay, so if you go into that, you see there's no author for this, so we'll just call it Shoprite Holdings, right? Shoprite Holdings, and this was 2018. Right. So then we've got our example here. So then you say we said an example, right? Then a resource, and we said with this resource, it could be in the form of another definition, a real life example, or personal experience. And then if it's, if all, fails, you will say to yourself, what is the importance of the management functions? So if you Google something like that, management is crucial for the success of an organization. And then I already love the sentence. It's by Online Manipal. I don't know what website this is. It's a blog, it seems. Let's see. I'm going to try and see, do I trust it? Yeah, it's okay. I just don't like the fact that it doesn't have an author. So maybe I would exit this one. I like sources that have authors because you need to be able to, identify an importance of managementstudiesguide.com. Let's try this one. Again, I don't like this because it doesn't have an author. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that. And you see things like 5 principles of great management. I like this one, and this is an educational, it's the University of Arizona. As much as it doesn't have an author, it does have a date, author, okay, here, and it just says, UACG staff member, right? And they say the 5 principles of great management. And then you can simply go there as an additional resource. You can say, UACG, and actually I don't think staff member is the right way to do this. UACG, right? And it's 2024, I think. Nope, 2021, updated 2023. So it's UACG 2023. UACG, and in brackets 2023, list the 5 principles, the 5 principles of great management as. List the 5 principles of great management. And they are, and then you would go ahead and you would list them, right? And there again, just with the second one, you've got another reference here from your textbook, you've got another reference from ShopRite, and you've got another reference from UACG, you see. Yeah, so that's basically it. You've listed it, you've explained, you've provided an example, and you've provided a resource. And for every single one, you have to like, so let's say LEER, I'm just going to put it LEER. And I used to call it the tier method until I realized actually it's LEER because you have to list LEER. So that means you have to do this for every single listing of the theory that you do. And I hope that explains all to you. Thank you so much.